Buildable character. Buildable character. Buildable character. Buildable character. I think you know this video might just be about another buildable character. This is a custom chopper by Republic Bricks, who sponsored this video and sent it to me for free. It costs $260 on his website and has 2,326 pieces. Nailed it! I recently looked at the Mustafar one, and that also had like a startlingly good price per piece, and a lot of people hold price per piece as the gold standard when it comes to Lego sets and even custom Lego sets. Getting anywhere near 10 cents per piece is quite remarkable. Actually, with code CHOP, the set is only $200, so you can get it for less than 10 cents per piece, which is insane. So we are gonna dig into this and see what Chopper has to offer. That kind of rhymed. All right, the instructions. QR code. Where's the iPad? Downstairs? I gotta get the instructions. I'll be right back. So to get the instructions, we're just gonna go to Dropbox here by scanning the QR code. Ooh. So you can definitely expect a close to normal building experience, but in my experience, when it comes to building custom sets like this, there tend to be a few errors within the manual that do take a little bit of brain power to figure out. I feel like a broken record saying that, but I do think it's important to say. Anyway, inside of the box bag are a lot of parts, and I always love this about Republic Bricks. It's one of the highlights to me is that all the parts are usually generally separated by color. You're not gonna get numbered bags with most custom companies. Having it at least separated by color is a really good start to help you build a little bit easier.
4 to 6 days later.
I'm pretty impressed with the finished build for Chopper here. It's got a lot of the color down correctly. It's got a lot of authentic details, and we're gonna kind of go through them one by one to show them off. We've got the rubber Lego tires around his eyes that really help create that full look. And I will say for the dome of his head, it's not the typical dome that we've seen on kind of the R2-D2 buildable characters in the past. It's actually like panels that go vertical, and so it definitely has a bit of a, I don't know if blocky is the right word, or chopped up design. There's some small gaps, but I think generally the designer did a pretty good job of making it look rounded. And then on the very top, we have a little transmitter dome, which can be moved up or down, just something you can do to kind of change the way you display the model slightly. And then the head is easy to rotate 360 degrees like so, all the way around either way. There is, I don't know if an odd gap is the right word or an accurate gap, but there's a gap between the head and the torso, quite substantial. There's like bricks in there, but it just kind of like recesses in and then comes back out. Just something to note. Lastly, there's arms on either side of the head, so these can actually come out of the body. And speaking of emotion that you can show with Chopper, you can show him like really excited with the arms out like this, like yay, celebration, whatever. Or he can be like kind of sad. No, I can break it off too. You know, I think is really fun with this. It's not something I expected to see on this set, honestly, and especially given that they retract in some way to the body. I don't think I remember how these went. I think that's how they went. Did they go like that? Either way, they retract into the head pretty seamlessly, or you can have it actually display. This is how I would display it, because I totally think it's really awesome that you actually have something a little extra on the head. Pretty dope. I think they did a good job with it overall. Looks nice. Now, when we get to the bottom of the body, we have some problems, but I think the top of the body, again, you're gonna have some small gaps here and there, but to create kind of the detail that they do within the shape they have to, I think it's necessary. We can pull out this other arm here. You can use it to like open doors, whatever, access panels, different things. It's really the only feature on the front side of the panel, but I think it's pretty cool. It's another one of those things. It's a custom set. It is going to fall off from time to time potentially, but generally if you're setting up for display, which is what you probably should do when you buy a custom set, it more than gets the job done there. If we flip to the back of the torso, we've got a bit more detail here. We've got just some different colors, and just generally with Republic Bricks over the years, you're always going to find some used pieces. You can see this one is not maybe the same white as this one, which is not the same white as this one, so you're not getting all brand new pieces. I would say 99% of the pieces are of acceptable quality, but of course there'll be the one or two that you're not going to love, and that's just par for the course. So there's a panel on the back of this. You're gonna have to pull down from the top on the dark gray here, maybe attached with a couple too many studs, because it is a little bit difficult to pull off. You can see, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 studs. It's probably like 2 more than we really should have it connected with, but hidden in here is something interesting, a little flame. We actually want to take that flame, we'll set it aside, but on the very bottom of him, there's this stud here, and of course, you can place the flame inside of the stud and break the whole thing. Yeah, we're getting to this. But for now, the flame is there, and it's pretty dope that you could have him with the flame on the bottom looking like he's flying. Now, you would maybe need him on like a stand to make it look way cooler as he's flying, but I love that the idea is there. Like, that's super fun for a custom set to just have that little bit of detail, something extra, something fun. And so I love that attention to detail on this one. I think that's fantastic. Now, what I don't think is fantastic is how weak this third wheel is. Now, I have a lot of leniency when it comes to custom sets as far as the strength of the build. I think that people should and really do buy these solely as display sets. To some degree, as I'm reviewing the set, for the people that are buying it, I don't think it should matter that much because you're buying it for the look very specifically, not the strength of the build. But I find this to be particularly annoying. This piece is supposed to be functional. So you are supposed to be able to actually like roll the wheel out, and you can see it falls apart even more when I try to use it again, and have it as the like third leg wheel for chopper. So let me mess around with it and let's see if we can get to where we need to be. The whole thing is coming disconnected in here and I can't even get my hand in there to fix it. By the way, these curved pieces on the bottom of the chopper do look nice, but that's besides the point. So while it's on here, really you're supposed to be able to turn these to be like out like this, but it's really hard to do. So I'm just going to do it now before I reattach everything. And then we're also going to take the flame off of that piece because we're not going to need that. And then that goes on there. Now I think this would work a lot better if I glued all of this together because these pieces come apart every time I touch them, no matter what, but we'll move it all the way up. And there you have basically chopper's third leg, the wheel. It looks fantastic. I think this is the ideal way to display it. You put the flame back in the back of chopper or just toss it wherever you want. Doesn't really matter. I don't think it needs to be used at all. I just like the detail regardless. But with that little wheel on there, if you really want to, it will roll. Now it is really weak as I showed, so I wouldn't expect it maybe to work the best over time. And again, don't buy these as play sets. I don't know how many times I can reiterate that, but it does look really good. And so if we try to fold it back in, get ready, well, maybe I shouldn't fold it back in yet. Maybe I should talk about the legs a little bit more because once I fold it back in, I don't want to try to bring it back out. The leg design is pretty similar to the 2012 and 2021 R2D2 buildable characters that we've had. Just same idea because it just makes sense to use the same idea, but the kind of ankles have a bit of posability to them. You can see they have a slight movement and then they can move up and down. And then same for kind of the top of the legs here where you can move it back, very specifically back. It doesn't go forward, just goes back into that position for him to sit back when that third wheel was on there, but it's not anymore and it's breaking more. There's the bottom of the feet. They've just got the inverted tiles on them, so it will kind of sit smoothly on any surface, which is definitely nice. Of all the Republic Bricks sets that I've built and reviewed, I feel like this specific thing looks so good, but it might still be the most annoying feature I've ever had to deal with. I find it to be so annoying how often it breaks. But again, it looks good. And for its intended purpose to me as a display set, you're gonna put it in a case and never touch it. I don't really care that it breaks as much as it does, but it is really annoying as I'm going through trying to move it in and out. Just buyer beware, obviously. This is a review after all. But I think that's not game breaking because like the play functionality of it isn't necessarily the reason you would buy it. I think what everyone wants to see really is a size comparison with a R2D2. Now I have the 2012 one here handy. I do not have the 2021 handy. However, they are about the same size. The UCS R2D2 is like literally basically the same size from 2012 and 2021. So good comp if you have the newer one, more likely to the chopper here and whether it would look good next to each other or not. The chopper definitely a bit bulkier, almost the same height, not quite the same height, I would say. Maybe, no, yeah. So I would say the scaling on these is pretty close. Maybe it's not exactly 100%, maybe it's 90, 95% within scale of each other. But if you're looking for something that's pretty dang close, this is pretty dang close from the images I was able to find online. If anything, Chopper is maybe supposed to be a brick or two shorter than he is. So maybe it just kind of depends on what reference you're looking at, but definitely pretty close to size or scale accurate, which I think is what people would be looking for here. So in conclusion, at $200, I think it is a more than fair value as long as you're just not coming into it expecting like brand new parts for 200 bucks as a custom set. I don't think you could be disappointed here. I've pretty well covered everything that this set has going on with it, good, bad, and otherwise. And ultimately, as a display set, if it sits as it is here and you don't touch that piece down there, I think that looks really good, and I'm really excited to have it in my personal display. I think this alongside the Mustafar set that I reviewed recently on the channel are just some of the better priced custom sets that I've ever seen from Republic Bricks. So hopefully that becomes the norm, because I've always seen pricing as one of the bigger criticisms for sure, but I've always, understood there's a lot of economics at play running a business and custom sets and all of that, but somehow this one is $200. I honestly can't quite fathom it. Maybe some of the parts used in this are specifically very cheap to get. I honestly have no idea, don't look into that all of the time, but certainly very interesting here. But for 200 bucks, pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And you can check out more custom Lego Star Wars set reviews by Republic Bricks, by me, of Republic Bricks, on the end screen now. See ya.